त्वं प्रकृतिः पुमान् कर्मसु क्रियमाणेषु गुणैरात्मनि मन्यते एवं पराभिध्यानेन कर्तृत्वं प्रकृतिः पुमान् कर्मसु क्रियमाणेषु गुणैरात्मनि मन्यते. Synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Evam, in this way, para, other, abhidhyanena, by identification, kartitvam, the performance of activities, parakrite, of the material nature, puman, the living entity, karmashu, kriyamaneshu, while the activities are being performed, gunai, by the three modes, atmani, of himself, manyate, he considers. Translation. Because of his forgetfulness, the transcendental living entity accepts the influence of material energy as his field of activities, and thus, actuated, he wrongly applies the activities to himself. The forgetful entity, purport, the forgetful living entity can be compared to a man who is under the influence of disease and has become mad, or to a man haunted by ghosts who acts without control and yet thinks himself to be in control. Under the influence of material nature, the conditioned soul becomes absorbed in material consciousness. In this consciousness, whatever is done under the influence of the material energy is accepted by the conditioned soul as self-actuated. Actually, the soul in his pure state of existence should be in Krishna consciousness. When a person is not acting in Krishna consciousness, he is understood to be acting in material consciousness. Consciousness cannot be killed, for the symptom of the living entity is consciousness. The material consciousness simply has to be purified. One becomes liberated by accepting Krishna or the Supreme Lord as master, and by changing the mode of consciousness from material consciousness to Krishna consciousness. Do the pranam mantra. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are discussing the conversation between uh, Kapila Muni and his Mother Devahuti. So before we start the discussion, I would like to uh, offer my humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Seek your blessing so that I can say something uh, of value, and I seek a special blessing from His Grace Madhupati Prabhu for engaging me in this seva so that I can do some Shastra reading, which purifies my heart and develops love for devotional service. So here in this particular chapter, Lord Kapila is going to discuss about the Sankhya philosophy. In the previous chapter, he described about the devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. And in this one, there is going to be analytical study of the of the or Sankhya Yoga. The Sankhya Yoga is the analytical study of the yoga process. And he starts by describing that how the process of creation will come after, but he starts by describing that how Supreme Personality of Godhead is the origin of everything. And from him comes the Prakriti, that's the separated energy. We all know that Supreme Lord has three energies called internal potency, external potency, and the marginal potency. So the internal potency is also the one which has multiple other types, with the top one being the Aladini Shakti, or Srimati Radharani, the pleasure giving potency. Then we have on the external potencies, also called separated energy, and that's Prakriti, or this creation. And jivas are right in the middle, marginal, and their consciousness becomes contaminated. So there is 24 elements are actually described in this chapter as part of creation, and of those there is one element which is called contaminated consciousness. And that contaminated consciousness, as Srila Prabhupada is saying, consciousness cannot be killed. It can only be modified. So that contaminated consciousness comes for two reasons. But the primary reason is that this creation gives the soul a body, jiva a body, based on various factors, including the karmas and the desire of the jiva. And based on that, when the jiva gets this body, there's a false identification which starts by thinking, I am this body. That's the first thing which even in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is telling that you are not the body, you are the soul. So even here, we can see that because of his forgetfulness, forgetfulness has come because consciousness has become contaminated. Consciousness has become contaminated because we are in touch with Prakriti, and this body is being given by Prakriti, and because of that our soul is covered, and then there is this false identification with the body starts. So that's the forgetfulness. Uh, now we can say that uh, we can argue, we can bring in that uh, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that this forgetfulness comes from me only. Sarvasya chaham hriday sannivishto matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. This apohanam means that uh, forgetfulness. So Krishna is saying that I am situated in everyone's heart, and from me comes this forgetfulness. Knowledge uh, and remembrance and forgetfulness. So now we can then blame Krishna for this forgetfulness, that you're the one who is giving, but that is not right. We all are celebrating the wonderful Damodar month, where we are um, offering lamp to Lord and relishing the pastimes of Damodar Leela, where Mother Yashoda binds uh, Krishna, and we see by that it is there are we hear from that story that every time Mother Yashoda is trying to bind Krishna, uh, the rope is becoming 2 fingers too short, and uh, but she keeps on trying, so her effort is there. And His Grace Shubha Bilas Prabhu, on the first day when he was telling katha in Woodbrook Corners, he mentioned that Mother Yashoda was trying and trying and trying from morning till evening, and she was about to give up, but one more last time, because she was doing this for almost 12 hours, her body in automatic mode went and uh, tried one more time. She had given up, uh, but because she was in practice, so she just tried one more last time. And that's when Krishna realizes, and um, he he gives his mercy, and then he gets binded. So by this we can understand that this kripa part, this first of all, in this case, Mother Yashoda desire was to bind Krishna, and then of course Krishna allowed it. So similarly, this forgetfulness is our desire. Uh, our desire is to enjoy separately from Krishna. Our desire is to, and when that desire happens, our desire is to uh, have this body. When is immaterial, because when comes answer to when is always with time. Okay, but time factor starts when creation starts. There is no time in spiritual world. The time factor is the one Krishna's involvement in the creation is in the form of time factor. That's acts as the churning rod. It will come later in this chapter. So Srila Prabhupada always says that since time immemorial, we cannot measure that time. We cannot factor in that time, because this is beyond time when this desire happened. And because of that, we got this body, and we are in this forgetful state of our real identity. Okay. So the answer to that question, that this forgetfulness is coming from Krishna, yes, but he is only fulfilling our desire. Okay. Then the next part of this comes is that the transcendental living entity accepts the influence of material energy as his field of activities. So once we have this body, we start identifying the activities of bodies as the actual activities, and we think that we are uh, we are the ones who are the doers. Just like, Srila Prabhupada gives the example of somebody who is under the influence of disease or haunted by a ghost, is acting without control, yet he thinks he is in control. If uh, you'll see there is a person who is under the influence of alcohol or drugs will fall down, is falling down again and again, to some dirty places on the road, getting hurt. But that person is under the influence, so uh, that person thinks that I am in control. Okay, is not if you ask, do you need help? No, no, I'm in control. I'm good. This is nothing. But from outside, those who are the observers can see that the person is thinking wrongly, that is in under control. Even in Bhagavad Gita, uh, as, 3.29, prakrite gun sammudha sajjanate gun karmashu, you know uh, which is bewildered by the modes of material nature. The ignorant fully engages themselves in material activities and becomes attached. Person is thinking uh, prakrite means under the influence of material nature. Some mudha, is bewildered, and sajjanate guna karmashu. Based on the gunas, uh, there are three modes of material nature: the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. All these three modes of material nature are required for the creation. And depending on our nature, association, and past deeds, we have one or the other, you know, uh, mixture or some ratio, and that changes from one time to another. The influence of these modes of material nature changes, and that is the one which is driving the work which we are doing. Uh, you know, in Bhagavad Gita 3.5, Krishna is saying, Nahi kaschit chanam api jatu tishtatya karma krita karyate hi avashah karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. Prakriti jair gunaihi. Means born of the modes of material nature. Prakriti jair gunaihi. So um, it is the modes of material nature which is influencing our day-to-day activity. Now, what is then the process to come out of these the influence of modes of material nature? No? Our consciousness is contaminated. So what is the process of coming out of this contaminated consciousness? And Srila Prabhupada is saying that we cannot kill the consciousness. What we can do, we can uh, engage it into uh, a different direction. That is, we can engage our activities into Krishna's service, and that is how we become uh, Krishna conscious. Okay. Now, from the story of Mother Yashoda, where she was out of habit, she tried one more last time to tie Krishna. So, just like that, there are practices uh, which are defined in Krishna consciousness, and we just have to keep on engaging. We have to keep on doing those activities. We have to engage ourselves in performing those activities. And out of there's a saying we in English that fake it till you make it. There's one time one devotee uh, approached Srila Prabhupada, and whenever Srila Prabhupada will come, everybody will bow down. Now, this person approached Srila Prabhupada and he said that, um, Srila Prabhupada, I do not feel like bowing down to you. And Srila Prabhupada's response was that you still do it. Uh, and you will get it. So, we may not get the rasa of chanting the holy name, but our job is to keep on doing it, because we are the sadhakas, we are the practitioners. Otherwise, if we have the rasa, if we relish chanting the holy name, then we are not the sadhakas. Then we are the liberated souls, because we have already achieved what is required. But because we are sadhakas, we have to keep on practicing. That applies to any field. If you see that a student is practicing his math problems, a player is practicing his skills, an artisan is practicing his craft, because they are not perfect at it yet, because it they are into the sadhana stage of it. When you are into the sadhana stage of something, you are practicing, and by practicing and practicing, you become perfect. So just like that, our Krishna conscious activities are serving to the Lord. Sometimes we may relish some enjoyment, sometimes it may not be, but just like a medicine, sometime prescribed, sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's bitter, but it is good for us. So similarly, waking up early may be difficult, but we do it. Picking up the japamala is difficult, but we do it, because by doing it, our contaminated consciousness will be purified and will become Krishna consciousness. So we have to analyze and try to find what are our weaknesses, what are our strengths. No, we can a lot of times we see that, okay, you do your analysis of the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Okay, SWOT analysis. We can do the same thing in Krishna consciousness. What are our strengths? Our strength, we can look at it from different angle, but the biggest strength we have is our sadhu sangha, is the congregation. What is our biggest weakness? Biggest weakness is missing on those opportunities of association. So we can do our analysis, take these methods which we come across in various ways of life, and then apply those, merge those with our Krishna conscious activities. Okay. For example, not trying to boast myself, just trying to share an example to see, to inspire, that my biggest weakness is prasadam. I I cannot go hungry. No, when I in the morning, I do need breakfast at the right time. Now that earlier I used to, if I didn't get it on time, I'll start developing headache. So I use that. I try to use that, as my strength, in a sense that I try to finish my japa rounds before I take prasadam. Sometime it gets delayed, but that is how we can look at the opportunities of you know uh, trying to use our weaknesses to our advantage, and trying to use it for Krishna consciousness. I know many devotees who have taken a vow. They don't step out of the house without finishing their rounds, or they don't. Some of the devotees I know, they have morning seva, but they don't start doing anything without finishing their rounds. So they take extra effort to um, finish their rounds before they start the seva. So things like these, we can do the analysis and see what works for us, and try to use that for our advantage. Of course, this is all very personal. Um, recently I saw a message from Srila Prabhupada that uh, somebody shared. The Prabhupada would say, when he was in Grihastha ashram, that he'll finish his 4 rounds in the morning, and then 4 rounds before each prasadam, that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So whatever works practical and is helping you follow your Krishna conscious activities is something which can be adopted. But important thing is being in practice, because just by being in practice only uh, we can develop our we can purify our contaminated consciousness and become Krishna conscious. So with that, I see 2 minutes still remaining. So I would like to stop here and see if anyone have any comments, corrections, realizations want to share. Looks like not. So, over to you, Madhupati Prabhu.
Thank you, Akhilesh Krishna. We'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. And we'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Nrsimha Jai Nrsimha Jai Jai Nrsimha Praladesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringam Ugra Veera Mahavishtam Jwalantam Sarvatmukam Nrsimham Vishanam Badram Mityam Namiham. Nrsimha Bhagwan Ki Jai, Maharaj Ki Jai. Let's offer our humble obeisances to all assembled Vaishnavas, Vancha Kalpataru, Kripa Sindhu Bhaya, Patitanam Pavane Bhaya Vaishnavi Namaha. ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि हरि।
Thank you, Akhilesh Krishna.
Thank you, everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone.